biggest shot of your career?
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully I can top it eventually, but for now, I'll put that one at the top.
Let's take it to that last 6 seconds. We're pushing it. It's being pushed to you. Campaign was like, let me try Cam Johnson again.
Yeah. Kelly did a great job of securing the ball. Got it to campaign, and campaign, you know him, he takes off. And I was kind of ahead, but in the pack. So I slowed down and got behind him, and he did a pitch back, which we do a lot. You can look back throughout the years, and campaign has looked for that often, and he kind of made eye contact with me, flipped it back, and I kind of had a clean sight to the hoop with a dribble to take. I looked at the clock, so I had enough time before I caught it, and just tried to let it go and try not to be short, because the ones I missed tonight were short. So and I did definitely shoot it long, but I'm just very thankful that one went down. And I love my guys, and they really fought today, top to bottom. And just so proud of the effort they gave. I know the stats say one thing and the last place says one thing, but we are not in that situation without the group of guys that we have. And so it's all the credit goes to them, goes to coach. And makes me happy to be a son today, proud to be a part of this team.
You said before that you know when the shot feels good.
Yeah.
When you let that go, did that feel?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Nope. I had to gather myself for a second, but I just wanted to get under it. I did not want to have any regret when it came to that shot. So a lot of mental energy went into that last 1 second before the shot, and some physical too. Just trying not to let it go short, and by the grace of God, it went in. Of course. Oh man, what can I say here? I didn't like that first play of the game that I was in, and to me it felt cheap, and it hurt, really hurt. Knocked the wind out of me. I didn't even get it back. You get the wind knocked out of you, come back, didn't come back, and kind of got me like edge of my rib towards the bottom of my sternum, just in a sensitive spot. And, it gets you thinking a lot of things in that moment. But one is like, can I even breathe right now? Like, can I run up and down the court? So when I got back, it was tender. I took a hit to it again, and just a lot going on. And if you look back into earlier in the season against New York, I went to box him out just playing basketball, and he hit the heck out of me. I went from block to block, no call. And to me, that was just very frustrating. So the emotions were very high. And just as a man, you're not just going to take that. Bully, 5 foot tall person, it don't matter. It's just an emotional moment, very emotional moment. And to me, it just seemed very out of pocket. And we kind of got same thing. On that last play, he hit me. I kind of gave him tried to just hit him. He hit me with the same amount of force, and from there, he turned around and kind of came at me. And that's part of the game. Everybody play basketball. Emotions got heated on both sides. That was the first technical of my career, but I just felt I couldn't stand for that. Whatever I did to deserve that is one thing, but I just couldn't stand for that. That first hit, I'm telling you guys, that one hurt. And no call either. And that one just put the emotions through the roof from the beginning of the game. And that's how it played out. And, I can keep going on and on, but try not to get myself in trouble up here.
So I was thinking, okay, he got energized from the last thing, but it started for you.
Oh, I was so hot. And I went to the referees, and I said, what do you want me to do? Like, I stood there and took one to the chest. Like, oh, that one hurt, man. It really did. It still does. And so it just put the emotions through the roof in that moment. I got up. Mikhail looked at me. He immediately called a coach. I just couldn't catch my breath. So I tried to go back to the locker room. I got a pad to cover it so I wouldn't get hit or take a direct hit there again, and just had to gut it out. Of course, I go back, get kneed right in the thigh shortly thereafter, which is pretty sore in and of itself right now as well. And I was just like, man, this is it turns to straight adrenaline emotion when you're kind of battling with some things and in the heat of the game. And the only way to get through it is to just put your head down and keep fighting. And sometimes emotion takes over in those instances.
Julius was the initial at the beginning.
That one set me off a little bit. Mitchell Robinson just contesting a layup. He done got me. He's the same guy that got me. If you remember, I missed a couple of weeks. My rookie year, he's same leg, same kind of deal. But yeah, just needing the quad. We've all had those. I call them Charlie horses. Some people don't call them that, but those hurt. A lot of things hurt. Rolled up my ankle on the second to last play, the Robinson tip in. So, like I said, it's just very emotional. And when you kind of get on that adrenaline, anything, you don't know what you're doing. You're just going.
Because the guys said they fed off your adrenaline. They thought that there was Jay in particular.
Yeah, and I kind of fed right back off of that, and that's kind of what won us the game. There was guys just hanging in there and making gritty plays.
With the technical sequence there,
Yeah.
What was kind of going through your mind? Because you mentioned at the beginning it was an emotional play, especially. So how did you kind of keep your composure and keep it from escalating further?
Well, I mean, I just understood that I had the opportunity to continue playing, and he didn't. And I just wanted to win the game for my team, for CP and Book, who are out right now. We're 2-2 since CP's been out, and 1-1 since Book is out, or am I got it backwards? Oh, okay, 2-0. So just finding ways to win games. We're a team that hates losing. We've done it 12 times this year, and if you're 50-12, those 12 losses, you're not like, oh, okay, you hate that feeling. And man, I did not want to have that feeling tonight.
You experience that often in your career where you're playing with that kind of that fire or emotion like that?
No, not often. I like to think I remain very, very level-headed throughout games. And that's kind of what I've hung my hat on for 26 years now, is just remaining level-headed and being able to deal with those things with a level head. But for better or worse, sometimes you got to adjust, and sometimes you just can't let stuff fly because people will continue to take advantage of that. And you guys can go with whatever you want when I'm talking about with that. But I couldn't stand for that. We say as a man, you just can't stand for that. And that one it was very emotional. And I'm just very, very thankful that we were able to pull that one out, by the grace of God.
And to be more specific about what Gerald was asking, do you remember like a hot shooting game for you in an instance like that where like you're almost kind of pissed while you're shooting that well?
I don't think I've ever been that angry when shooting a basketball. But I've had a couple of days of big focus on not being short, and I missed one short today. But I've had a big focus of being able to get my legs. And as a shooter at this level, I think of I go through my shot all the time. And if I'm missing, it's in practice and stuff, I just think of it as an opportunity to figure out where I can hone in and fix things. And then 2 practices ago, I was missing, missing more than usual. And you guys were there at the end of last practice. When me and Ish were just playing that little shooting game. But when I'm in those instances, I just try to think what I can fix. And for me at that moment, it was kind of attacking the ground a little bit more with my feet, getting a little more lift, taking pressure off of my arm, taking pressure off my shoulder, and being able to get the ball on a better trajectory. So when I was shooting today in the game, my only focus was put my feet into the ground and get the ball on a good trajectory. Because when it feels like it's going, you can get it online. But everything else, is very intricate throughout the game. And so from that standpoint, I felt very confident in getting those going. And then the anger just kind of, the emotions, the adrenaline just kind of floated me through. And as you can still see, it's still there.
Was there a specific one of the 9 that felt good early where you're like, oh yeah, this is going to be a good night?
The first one, the one that went in and out, remember? It felt good. And the first baseline jumper felt good. And Torrey Craig was just saying this in shoot around. He's like, you got the most in and outs at anybody. I was like, man, they're going to be trying me sometimes, but I'm just sticking with it. And I was like, okay, I might be on to something today. And then the second one I made off of a little pin down, kind of got my left, right. Anytime you can get shots, anytime you get lift off movement, that's good for momentum. That's good for shooting, confidence. And then after that, and the guys were finding me too. I was trying to find soft spots and just hang out, chill out there for a little bit. And guys were finding me. Campaign had 16 assists today, which is probably a career high. And he was whipping the ball across the court and finding guys all night. And just, like I said, I just really wanted to win that game.
I want to say it was the eighth one where you came flying around.
Yeah.
Sort of off balance. When you're in those shooting zones, does it matter like how like off balance you are or anything? That one didn't even touch it.
It does, but it's like I said, it was in the legs. It was in that left, right, being able to get a little bit of lift. I'm sure a lot of people struggle with that, but it's something that I work on is getting lift off of those environments. Often miss those ones short. And even when you don't miss short, you miss because you had to put too much arm into it. So being able to get that lift and then let it go was big in that moment. And I was feeling good. So it went down for me.
Yeah, it's been a pretty major week for you. You raised $1,000 for charity.
That was this week. It's been a long week.
Yeah.
A long week.
That was Monday, then you had your birthday yesterday, and then also your career high tonight, career highs in points and threes, and but also you shot. Do you take this as not just a team effort? Do you really bask in his glory individually, or do you just take this in stride as the last game when against the Blazers where you had 6 guys in double figures, and 6 guys in double digit positive?
It's definitely something you have to take in stride. And one thing that I've always tried to keep in mind throughout my career is never get too high with the highs and never get too low with the lows. First 10 games of the season for me were tough. Sore, battling things, short off season, getting back into the flow is tough. And in those moments, all I could do was just focus on game by game and trying to establish rhythm. And my whole career, I don't feel like I've had an easy route. I don't feel like things have kind of been handed to me in any way. I feel like I've had to adjust to a lot of highs and lows. And the way I get through it personally is just kind of letting go of control. Just continuing to work, continuing to put the hours in and trusting that God is in control. Like that's the biggest coping mechanism for me, is just letting that go and saying he already knows what's going to happen in the future. It's my job to stay in the middle, to stay level, to stay kind of on that straight and narrow path. And so I don't really want to take any individual glory or credit for this one, because it could have just as easily swung the other way. And you guys know when you're shooting basketballs, bad bounces happen. I've had plenty of nights where it felt good, and you look on the stat sheet and it's 1 for 8. And so I just, like I said, just try to keep it level and just try to ride that hot hand if I can. And if the next game is 1 for 10, then the next game is 1 for 10, but that's kind of just how I roll. And that's been the biggest thing that I can point to in middle school, high school, college. It's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of tough as a shooter. Anybody who's a shooter knows that you have stretches where it's tough. We look back to the end of last season, the last 10 or 15 games I played, tough. Talk about like shots feeling good, not going in, wrist sore, whatever you can pin it on. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. It did not go in. And so the same situation came in when we go into playoffs, trying to get my health back and just trusting that the work will take care of itself and not to worry too much about the other stuff. And that's the biggest thing I can say.
I should have got some of that lemonade.
Yeah, it was a good lemonade. Did anybody get the lemonade today? They had a lemonade stand today.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh?
Actually, I was the last person at your event, and I got the last lemonade.
Man.
They handed it to me and said, we can't.
That was wild, the amount of people there and the support like throughout the community. It was the middle of the workday on a Monday. We posted it 2 days before. I thought we were going to have just 100, 200 people. And then I got there and the line was wrapped around the block. And to feel the excitement in this arena tonight, like it it's unbelievable. Like, this is what you dream of when you dream of playing in the NBA. Like, all of the camaraderie with your team, and then additionally the support of a city. And that's so big. It gets a little bit of attention, but I think it should get more. That I think we have some of the best fans in the league, and they show up every night. And man, you could see just looking around that arena tonight, a whole entire game, that it was buzzing. And so I really, really appreciate the city for that.
You were so locked in on in the game, so focused and so mad over what was happening. Did you hear the crowd erupt when you made that game winner, or you're so focused on just going?
I did. And it was a cool moment. It was one that I probably won't forget for the rest of my life. But you know, it's basketball. Those things happen. It could have easily just been the other way. Could have missed a couple of threes and the game turned for the worse. So you kind of got, like I said before, you got to take it in stride and focus on getting ready for the next one, because it's coming quick. Thank you.